This week I am traveling to Miami to basically become a certified life coach through the life coach school. I have been working with coaches for years now as a brand designer, and I got super into coaching because of them. I was curious what it was. I found Brooke Castillo and the Life Coach School. She's the founder. I had been taking her self-coaching scholars program for 3 years, and when this opportunity popped up, I just knew I needed to be there. I just have this really deep sense that I'm being drawn there, and I just feel like this is sort of like a next chapter for me. I started my business as a wedding photographer, and I did that for several years, and because of that business, I learned about branding, marketing, and graphic design essentially. So I ended up going back to college when I was 26 and getting a degree in graphic design because I wanted to be a web designer. After I graduated, I worked for a marketing firm as a graphic designer for about 18 months and then went back to doing my own business. I had been a wedding photographer, had my own wedding photography business for a long time, kept that through college, kept it through this marketing job. I decided to go back and be self-employed. At that time, I did both marketing and graphic design. After a few years of trying to balance both, I decided that I really just wanted to focus on brand design and web design. I quit wedding photography, and as soon as I did that, my business just took off because I had one ideal client, my messaging was super focused. I finally was following my own advice about building a very niche brand. I had a ton of photographer clients because that was my previous industry and I knew how to help them build their brands. But then I had somebody reach out to me who was a life coach. I had to ask her, I was like, what do you do? I don't understand. You're coaching people in their lives. I just really had no idea what it was. So she actually has been with me since the early days. She's one of my longest clients, one of my best clients. Over the years, I started to get more and more coaching clients and less photography clients. I started specializing in helping coaches, life coaches, health coaches, business coaches build their brands. During that time, those early days, somebody else had told me that I really needed a business coach for my business. And so I was sort of had that in the back of my mind. And I was also like, still don't understand this life coaching thing. Sounds interesting. Brooke Castillo and her company, the Life Coach School, sort of popped up on my radar. She was offering a membership program called Self-Coaching Scholars, where you basically learn how to coach yourself. And I signed up for it immediately. It absolutely changed my life in more ways than I can ever express. I became such a fan and an advocate of life coaching. As somebody who has dealt with anxiety and depression most of my life and tried therapy and different things to cope with that, I've never had such a big transition and such a shift and so much agency over my own life as when I figured out these life coaching tools. It was just a very personal journey for me, but at the same time, my clients were all transitioning to coaches. I was moving away from photography. I just kept attracting coaches. I think it was my passion for coaching that sort of drew them in. I found that by learning about life coaching, I was able to help my clients more. I really loved that, and I loved what I was getting out of it too. So I never had a desire to become a life coach. I just loved what it was doing in my own life, and I loved how I was able to help my clients with it. A few years ago, I was pregnant with my second child and very sick with that pregnancy. But Brooke Castillo, founder of the Life Coach School and my coach, mentioned that she was offering her coach certification in person, which she hadn't done in a very, very long time. And I so desperately wanted to be there. I really struggled with how I could make it work, and it just wasn't the right time. I was so ill. There was no way I could travel. So I made myself a promise, and I said, if she ever offers this in person again, I will be there. I need to be in that room. A few months ago, I found out that she was changing up her program, which is almost always online, changing it up and breaking it into 2 steps. There was Coach Tools certification, and then you could go on and become fully certified as a life coach through her school. And that part, the practicum, was gonna be in person in Miami, work with her in a small group of other coaches for 5 days. Like, I knew it was a sign, like I had to be there. And so it's not a small investment. It's 25 grand total to get this certification. You know, I'm not leaving my business that I've built to just start a brand new life coaching business. I'm doing this for a lot of other reasons, but I just know that this is where I'm supposed to be. I convinced my husband. I told him a few weeks ago that I knew what I wanted for my birthday and he should buy it for me now. And he giggled. Then he was like, what do you want? And it's this bag. So I'm not gonna tell you right now what it is, but he was like, oh, that's funny, I already have it in my cart. So he's a good husband. We bought it and we went up to Denver. It was sent to the store at Cherry Creek, Louis Vuitton. So we picked it up. So I wanna know if you have any guesses what bag this is. Leave it in a comment down below and we'll see if you're right. So I got this. I told him I needed it early because I needed it for my Miami trip. So I think this is gonna be absolutely perfect. I've done a whole video on the Louis Vuitton packaging and I'll link it below, but I love their packaging. It's amazing. So this is one of their classic boxes with the sort of gold orange color. And I talked about that in that video. And then obviously you have a slip cover, dust cover, to keep it from collecting dust in your closet. And then the other thing that you always have is, well, this is a little gift tag. They give you this little folio, which is so nice. It has your receipt and information in it. So I always keep these. I keep the boxes because they're beautiful and I keep those in the box. So here we go. And here is my brand new bag. So it is a Neverfull, one of their sort of classic bags. And I do have a Neverfull. So Louis Vuitton has 3 sizes, usually. Not every bag comes in all 3 sizes, but they have PM, MM, and GM. So it's French, and I can't remember, but like PM is like petite, it's like the small. And then MM is the medium one. And GM is grand, it's the large. I wanted to get this one for my trip. It's a GM. It's much bigger because I'm planning on vlogging the whole thing. I need to work. I'm taking my computer. I make that other Neverfull work very hard and I'm always cramming stuff in it. So I'm excited to have this because it's just so much more room. It's gonna be basically my carry-on. And yeah, I think it'll fit everything I need. So I actually bought an organizer to go in it. So I'll show you that in just a second, but this is my new bag. And this color is the damier ebene. The canvas bags, they have 3 standard canvases. There's the typical, what they call a monogram, which is sort of the LV that you're like used to. You see that all the time. And then they have these 2 damiers. And there's the ebene and the azure. I like this one for my travel bag because it's not gonna show as much dirt. It can I just feel like it's a little sturdier. And also a big consideration when I buy bags, azure and most of the monogram canvases, they have the vachetta, which is like just a very light leather color, and it gets a little, it can get damaged very easily. So I really like the dark leather because I just, like I said, I think it can take a beating and it will just last me a lot longer. So this is my new bag. It's the day before I fly to Miami, so I am busy packing, basically unboxing all the stuff I bought for my trip. So I got some really fun stuff. So I'm gonna show you. First of all, if you follow me on Instagram, you might have seen on my stories that I was designing new business cards. When you go to, you know, a live event like this, it's so nice to have
business cards to hand out to people. I just think something tangible. I love them. So one of my favorite things about Moo, like say you're doing business cards or like a postcard or something, one side of the card can have completely different prints. Then like you can do multiple prints, you can do like if you were getting 25, all 25 could technically be different. So that's why one of the reasons I love using them. So I decided, I think I did like 6 or 7 different designs. So I did a bunch with sort of the agate sort of geological texture that's really big in my brand, that sort of Dutch floral look a lot. So I made a few different ones. With that, I did a special finish that is called raised spot gloss. And so over the logo, the M of my logo, it has this texture. It's a raised gloss and it really like makes that gold pop. And then on the black one, I just left it all black. You know, I'm a little nervous to go to this conference and meet new people, and I have anxiety, I have social anxiety. It's a lot for me. My goal is just to make a ton of friends, make a ton of new connections, make friends with life coaches. The next thing, I'm super excited about this too. I started thinking a few weeks ago, I really needed like a really great notebook because I'm going to be in class all day for 5 days. I know I'm just going to be taking like furious notes. This is like such an important course for me. I know that I'm going to want to come back and look at my notes again and again. So I started shopping around for like a really pretty notebook. And then it occurred to me, I am a graphic designer and I could design my own notebook. So that's what I did. I decided to make one that is, oh my goodness, on brand. The software for this one to design it was a little tricky, so I'm hoping that it turned out okay. This is my notebook. It's this floral print that I use in my branding. I put my logo on the front. I had it print a different design on the back. It continues the floral around. And then it has my tagline, a luxury strategy and design studio. And then I've got my little sub mark down here. So this turned out pretty good. And then my last thing that I ordered, well, I ordered a lot of things, but the other thing I want to show you, I got an organizer for my new Louis Vuitton. It's just crazy to just like start throwing stuff in it. You can never find anything. So this is the same organizer I have bought for, I have a Speedy and I have the other Neverfull, and they're smaller, but I bought this brand on Amazon. I will actually link this down below if you want to check it out. These have been amazing and they're not expensive at all. Fits perfectly into the bag. It's made for that size bag. Like you pick the size bag that you need. You can hook your keys on. So I never lose my keys. And then this actually, in my other one, if I turn my laptop the other way, it actually fits in here. So that's awesome. Room for my phone and all of that. So planning on being very organized and very on brand while I'm there. I am a mom. I have 2 small children. One is elementary age and the other one is a year-old now. And this is really the first time since having my second that I am leaving them and going to do something for work, but really for myself as well. And it has not been easy. My little boy is having a very hard time with it. He's been very emotional about the fact that I'm leaving. But we had a talk about doing hard things, and we do hard things because they make us stronger. And I explained to him that I have anxiety, he knows that, but I explained that like I'm nervous to travel and go to a new place and I don't know anybody there, and there's a lot of thoughts in my head about, you know, what that means and how scary that could be. And I told him, Mom needs to do this because I need to do hard things so I can get stronger, and you'll do this hard thing and you'll get stronger too. I feel like I have to keep pinching myself. I can't really believe that it's happening. It's been literally on my bucket list for a year and a half, which is so funny because I didn't even think I wanted to become a life coach, but I just see how these tools and the methodologies and the frameworks that I have learned from Brooke and her school literally have changed my life. I would not be where I am without the mindset work and everything
that I've learned from her. I'm turning 40 this year, and I had this sort of goal for a long time that when I turned 40, it was the year I was gonna make $1 million. And that is a big leap from where I am right now, but I feel like I just feel all this energy around this milestone birthday and really up-leveling my life and my business. And a big part of that is no longer just saying I want these things, but actually taking the action and the risk to make those things happen. Like I said, this was not a small investment. I can already just feel the synergy of investing that much, believing in myself that much, and the reward that comes with that kind of energy. I do think this is the year that I will see big growth in my personal life and my business, and I'm very excited for that. I decided to buy just all new clothes, almost all new clothes for this trip because it's early April, and here in Colorado Springs, like it snowed last night. So I am in a sweater, but I was looking at the forecast for Miami and it's gonna be 80 plus every day, so I don't have clothes for that. And I have a really old video on it, but I do something that I call my brand wardrobe. I used to say that whenever I was doing work things, but now it's just all the time. I like to be on brand because you never know who you're gonna run into, and I think it's so important to like be on brand, be consistently showing up as your brand. And like, so the way that I do that when I developed my brand and any of my client brands, you know, they have specific color palettes, they have specific textures, and then like an overall aesthetic and vibe. And so it really like dictates the look of your wardrobe. And we do this with our clients in Luxury Brand Leader, my signature website and brand design program, because part of that program is we do their brand photography for their new website. We go through the whole process of building their brand, and then I create a custom style guide to help them shop for that photo and video shoot, you know, so they know what clothes to get, they know like accessories that are on brand. That's great to have for your brand photos, but I have always loved the idea of having that brand wardrobe and just continually expanding on it, having it in your closet, like ready to go, so that whenever you show up for a Zoom call, or, you know, you're being interviewed for a podcast, or like when I'm filming a YouTube video, I'm always on brand. I'm in my brand colors, in my brand style, and it's very subtle but very powerful way to reiterate your brand, especially your personal brand. The main colors are pretty muted. There's like a tan and a black, and they can feel kind of dark and wintry. So I decided to like step out of that a little bit for Miami because I felt like that wouldn't fit in Miami. So I still went with the same vibe, like bold florals, bold patterns, picked some things that felt a little more Miami. I got these floral suit shorts, and I'm gonna link everything down below so you can go out and shop what I shopped. Very excited for that. This just felt very Coco Chanel to me, but Coco Chanel does Miami. So it's this tweed sort of romper. If you look closely, it actually has, it's got all these beautiful colors in it, but it has sequins woven in, which is just so pretty. We'll have to see how this goes because I feel like it's like very heavy material, so warm and cold at the same time. We'll see. This is obviously a very on-brand color. I have a whole outfit that's gonna go with this cardigan that I just bought. It's a snap cardigan. Again, you know, it's like a little more casual, but it definitely has this like Coco Chanel vibe that I just love, sort of this classic fashion look. A gorgeous silk shirt. Love this. It's on brand. It's one of my brand colors, but I felt like short sleeves and silky like that. Hopefully feels pretty comfortable in the 80-degree weather. This is a dress that I've had for forever. Well, since last summer, I think. I think it's still available. I'll link it down below if it is. One of my favorite designers. It's funny, like I would say 3/4 of all my dresses in my closet are black with bold florals, which is basically what my website looks like. So this is an older one. I got it 2 years ago. I just love it. I feel like, you know, it can still look dressy and professional, but enjoying the Miami heat. I'm not sure if this one's still available. I will try to link this or link some similar
looks down below. So one last thing I want to show you, I always travel with this. I found it on Amazon years ago. It's a travel steamer, and just with having cute clothes that you want to look all polished in, this is so great to have. It fits in my suitcase, and I honestly think it does a better job, and it looks, or it's easier to use than an iron. Like, it's so quick to like get your stuff steamed out. So I will link this down below too. This is a lifesaver.